Hello and welcome to Keystone Copycats with Chris and Zach. I, of course, am your host, Zach, and he, of course, is your other host.
Johnny Rocket. Do you remember Johnny Rockets?
Yeah,
Was it a steak burger place?
yeah, it was like a 50s style diner.
Oh, I bet they had milkshakes, Zach.
They did, and that was the only thing worth getting there.
No, they had shoestring fries.
Shoestring fries. Did they?
Shoestring fries.
Or are you just thinking of Steak and Shake?
I don't know.
Okay.
I know that they are franchise opportunities if you want to go in on this. I figured they said something about $10,000 up front.
Yeah.
I got some of that. I'm not going to tell you how much, but if you get the other half, I think we could buy ourselves a franchise.
So, Mark, do you want to go in 50-50 with me on half a Steak and Shake?
I'm so confused. Who is this Mark man?
I'm bringing him in right away.
All right.
Yeah, quick off. So just to be clear on the split, you guys are splitting it 50-50, and then I'm splitting one of the halves with you.
Yeah.
Mine half.
No, my half.
Mine half.
He said I need to get half.
If you're smart about it, I'll give you both half of your halves.
Ooh.
Wow. This is a friendship and a partnership all at once.
I think we're going to be successful.
He's helping us by splitting the cost. This is a steal of a deal.
Yeah, that's right. So,
well, now that Mark is interrupted, we have to ask about all of our days because normally we do the how are you, how am me.
Yeah.
So do we start with Mark because he's the guest and that's polite?
No.
How
we'll start
doing?
We'll
Mark?
start with each other.
Oh shit.
Then we'll let him watch in the corner like a pervert, and then we'll ask how he's doing today.
Voyeurism.
Hell yeah.
It would be so much better if this was a video podcast, only for the fact of Mark's reaction to that, which was a really heavy eyebrow waggle. I loved it.
Yeah, just type in eyebrows into a GIF search, and that was the face I was doing.
Zoom does record the video, so I'm going to make a GIF out of that eyebrow waggle.
Yeah, you know the eyebrow emoji. That's it.
That's it.
With a beard and some specs.
Thank you.
So we're here today with local favorite Mark Borison.
Hi, everybody.
From the Jungle Gyms podcast, the wildly successful Jungle Gyms podcast.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
It feels good to be here.
Give us a little update on how it's been going the last month. Well, we talked to you about a month ago, maybe.
Yeah, I think it's actually been a little longer than that.
Maybe 2 months, actually.
Yeah, I feel like everything's gone so fast in the last month or so. So, no, it's been amazing. I don't know. I felt confident in it from the jump, but at the same time, there was that large portion of me that was like, I don't know how this is going to go.
Yeah,
I don't know what to expect. And yeah, I'm having a great time. I mean, literally, it's hard. How could I not? I'm getting paid to talk about the world of international food and culture, and I get to meet cool people pretty much every day. Sometimes I'm accosted by strangers in the studio. I mean, things are going pretty good.
I like that you described it as being accosted.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, it is
everything in that store costs me a lot of money. You know.
I really like that, actually.
I'm glad that I wasn't the one that laughed the loudest at my pitch.
No, it was me, young Santa.
That's my favorite SoundCloud rapper.
It's so weird to watch someone who's so gleefully excited about his job. Like I don't think anyone else, like not a lot of people get that. So this is super for you.
Like
man.
a little peek behind the curtain of my world. I spent
What the fuck do you do?
I spent the 2 hours before we started recording literally browsing a subreddit of people who hate their jobs. Like that's I literally spent 2 hours reading people's stories about like my boss said this, so I said get fucked. Like, and I don't even have like a job. Like I'm an independent contractor. I work for myself, and like I just spent all this time reading these stories. Like, yeah, fuck them.
Yeah.
Well, I hate your boss too, Zach.
It's me.
I'm
the boss of me.
That's the joke.
Yeah.
I'm not Chris is the only one that gets to make bad jokes here.
I am a bad joke. I just bring that energy to the table.
It's so weird because my parents tell me that every year on my birthday.
About me? What the fuck?
Yeah, I know, which is even weirder
so
because how do they know him?
Hey, this guy we don't know.
I just need you to know his birth was not planned.
We listened to this podcast, and you're like, wait, hang on.
You don't even listen to mine.
They're fans.
Well,
yeah,
I'm glad you guys are enjoying whatever you do during the day. I almost got bit by a dog yesterday. I was somehow in the I don't know. I didn't know this was a part of town, like the stray
dog pound,
the stray dog abandonment center in Dayton. Oh. No, I got out of my van to go to a customer's house, and a little dog ran up and it was about to bite me. So I, ran back to the van, And I got in. I was like, well, I don't know what to do because I don't know where that dog came from, but it looked like a stray. And then some dude pulled up behind him and like was trying to get him into his car. And I'm like, oh, it's his dog. And then he opened the back door. He got out, opened the back door, and a dog that looked like it ran out. And he got back in his car and drove away. And then the dogs were chasing his car. And I'm like, was this where where you drop the dogs off?
You were in one of those.
You pretend to save the dog, and then when that doesn't work, you're like, well, then fuck these dogs, and you let them all out.
No, you were in one of those old school like Warner Brothers animation loops where they would reuse the background. And in this one, it's that guy driving around the block, dropping a dog out, but it's just creating new dogs the whole time.
Yeah,
it was
wonderful. It was weird because I was talking to a dude I work with right then and there about how, like, he was like, what are you going to talk about on the podcast? I'm like, I don't need to worry about it because just things happen to me. That happened when I was on the phone. I'm like, hey, dude, I'm like, there's a dog behind me, and then some guy fake adopted it and then got rid of another dog. And I'm like, I don't even know what's going on. And I was currently saying, he was currently telling me how the manager at the company thinks I'm crazy because the guy that my trainer, he like has a bad ankle right now. So he was going up the steps real weak, like an old man. So I was like, oh, that's a great sales tactic. And he's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, you pretend to be weaker so then the customer feels bad for you for trying so hard. So you like, you get the sale. He goes, I got a bad ankle. What the hell are you talking about? I'm like, oh.
Oh, sure.
Oh, that makes way more sense than where my mind went. Is that your ankle is fucked up? I thought you were really good and into the role. So now, thanks to Bobby, I'm just going to be creeping up and down the steps like an old man, but I don't know if it's going to work.
You do the Willy Wonka where you pretend to be crippled and then you fall and pop up
out of it.
And then you're still actually handicapped after that.
Yeah, you pop up like all quick and install their water heater, and then you hobble out.
Hobble back, yeah.
And then you pop an Oxycontin because it really hurt.
Are they hiring?
That's a story about addiction.
Mark likes his job.
Yeah,
well,
I'm sorry.
I love mine. If you didn't hear the story, I love my job.
Yeah, it sounds exciting. I'm in this weird place right now, kind of emotionally, because I feel bad for being happy because I feel like the world's sort of a mess for so many people right now. And then I'm like, I just got the coolest job ever, and I'm having a nice day every day. And so many people around me are miserable. And I know part of me is like, Mark, you should think fuck them. But really, I'm not that guy right now. But I mean, all jokes aside, it really has been kind of a weird experience because, it's like hard to be nice and happy at the same time.
Yeah. I was going to say like that's that's kind of how I felt in a different way when the pandemic hit because everyone was like losing their job and everyone was struggling. And I was plumbing, and I'm like, the craziest thing is like we've never been more busy, and like I at work actually increased, so everyone's like having this hardship, and I'm like, I have too much work. It's like you feel bad because you're profiting while other people aren't. Yeah. But yeah, it's a weird feeling because you're like, well, I'm helping them because they need assistance, but also I'm like, it's I don't know. It's a weird situation to be in.
Yeah. I feel like everyone kept telling me, they're like, just be happy that you're happy, revel in it while you can, just don't be a dick to other people.
Yeah.
Like, well, no promises.
Yeah. Well,
that's kind of paraphrase what Jesus said. We're kind of said shit like that.
We're gonna ride your coattails to employment happiness.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I'll spread the wealth as much as I can. That's awesome.
Yeah, we're gonna get in there. Steal all your happiness.
Steal it.
Well,
it's actually on sale right now. My love is discounted.
What department is it in? Is it the hot sauce department or the craft soda department?
I would say right now it's probably somewhere between craft soda and Korean.
Okay.
There you go. All right.
That's where I spend most of my time.
I just realized that, you're so gung-ho and happy right now, and I have the perfect way to bring you down. We are going to talk today about two really great movies.
Ooh, two
just really
movies.
perfect pictures. And, this might damper your attitude.
You know what's funny, though, is that TLDR, one of these is legitimately a great movie.
Hey, you have to wait. I'm going to stop you right there. You have got to wait to the end before you do this to me. Please.
Okay, I'm
Let me
sorry.
get through the episode before you already have made your decision.
I think everybody made their decision in 1994. I saw the box
I turned
office
it
receipts.
on. I turned it on and went, "Oh no!" Like, I was 100% like, "Oh no, it's cool. I can defend the silly one." And I was like, "Oh, oof."
There's so much country
Oof.
music.
I know. I'm gonna jump to it. One of my notes is I'm pretty sure this is an infomercial. I'm just not sure for what. I don't know what they're doing with so much country music.
So
I
much
don't know
country
who
music.
they were promoting.
Yeah,
Hang on. We got to introduce the movie, Zach.
So
Yeah,
the movies that we're talking about here today are Babe from 1995, directed by Chris Noonan. I'm not going to say who it's starring because it doesn't matter.
Pig.
I had to like scroll through the cast on IMDb like pretty deep before it gave the actor who voiced the main character Babe. Like I was like, what the fuck?
I know he was Stuffly.
Yeah.
It was a woman.
Ooh, I know she was Stuffly.
Stuffly is a word that you made up, and I appreciate it. I
Names
like
are all made up if you think about it for a second. That's also what Jesus said.
Stop it.
that is
You're
true.
too high. And the other movie,
I'm actually not. I'm drinking non-alcoholic beer taste beverage.
beer taste beverage.
It says it right here. Malt
Beer
beverage.
taste beverage.
Beer taste beverage.
So I have Gordy,
Like
the other one.
non-dairy dessert.
I have Gordy written down as 1994.
It is.
But when I looked it up on Wikipedia, it said opened in 2 theaters in Texas in November of 1994 and opened everywhere else in April of 1995.
Okay,
Isn't that fucking weird?
I'm confused.
That is weird.
I'm confused because
You're drinking a beer taste beverage.
mine was first, and you're just somehow not accepting that. What did its existence? Was it before yours?
No, because mine was based on a novel written in the 80s.
That doesn't count.
Oh, you're right.
That doesn't count. We're not talking about the novels. If you want me to talk about the Gordy novel that I'm writing, I would love to get into
Are
it.
you going to do a novelization?
I'm doing it right now. Hang on. Give me a second.
So-
I'm going to write it down.
so here's my
Country
take.
music starts.
Here's my take on Gordy.
Yeah.
I think that everyone in the cast was actually a country music singer and not an actor.
That we didn't know. But
That we don't know because
still
we don't know
who
country
they
music.
are. Yeah. I believe that. I believe that.
Yeah.
I could see that too, and they all look like people who are like if you had aliens watch famous people and
Yeah.
then you tell them like recreate famous people from your memory. They all have really funny names. Like they're all like, that sounds kind of like a celebrity's name.
Yeah,
but they're
that's
not,
the name
you know?
of a person that.
Right.
If you haven't seen
Sure,
Gordy,
Justin Garms.
Yeah, exactly.
most people
Deborah
have seen,
Hobart.
Most people have seen Babe. I'm going to summarize Gordy. Now, imagine the cast from Home Alone 6. Now, I know you don't know that that's a movie because it's not. Imagine them in this movie and you'd be like, oh, okay, I get it. I got it. Imagine if there was a cast for Home Alone 6 and then they did a Babe version of Babe and you're like, oh, got it.
So I didn't realize that Babe took place in Australia.
Oh, did it?
Yeah. Because
Wow.
it was like.
Here the tell is Farmer Hoggett's wife, Magda. I can't pronounce her last name, but she's like a pretty famous Australian actress.
Yeah. Well, no, but also it's like
It's Heath
they're
Ledger's
celebrating Christmas and it's like the sunniest, most beautiful, like summery day.
Is
and
that
I was
what
like,
was going
what
on
the
there?
fuck?
Because they made it seem like it was supposed to be an English
Christmas.
prairie side kind of thing,
Yeah,
but it
I thought
never
like
looked.
Wales or something, but
Yeah.
like, I guess that's. But you know what's funny is it was shot in
That
New
is
South
funny.
Wales, Australia. I thought it might have been the country Wales,
That's
but it was
fucking funny, Zach.
God, I'm fucking funny.
So sorry. Do you want to do your little synopsis? Get off me.
I don't have one.
Get off. You didn't do it
I
again.
forgot.
All right, I'll do mine for both.
Oh, you did them both. Good.
I'll
Okay.
do mine for both. Okay. Talking pigs have an adventure based around a farm, and then some people are there. I just improv that
Yeah,
one.
that
'cause
was
I
really
didn't-
good.
I didn't have both, and I had to merge
Oh
both of them.
man,
But mine it doesn't stay at the farm.
that was really good.
Yours doesn't either, though. So I lied.
Ooh, you know.
All right, I'm just going to do mine.
Okay.
A talking pig named Gordy becomes involved in a quest to save his family from the slaughterhouse. They actually are different movies. They're not the same thing like
Yeah.
you think they're going to be.
Hang on, I'm pulling up Babe on IMDb.
Oh, hang on. We have to do an internet search because
It's taking 1 second. You could just
One.
relax.
1 second.
Babe, a pig raised by sheepdogs, learns to herd sheep with a little help from Farmer Hoggett.
Don't you love his name? Why is
Hoggett?
it a Hoggett?
I don't know, because it's an Australian name.
For a hog raiser?
But he's not.
As
he raises
opposed
sheep.
to a hell raiser?
Yeah. All the
I just hear Mark just chuckling over there. Mark's chuckling and ordering nachos, I think.
Mark forgot he was on the show and thought he was just listening
I'm
to
still
it.
on the
Was
show.
like, this is funny.
I was listening to the synopsis and waiting. Every time I talk on anyone else's podcast,
some screen in your glasses, and I'm like, what's he doing down there? Like, he's really into a Reddit feed right now.
No, every time I talk, I'm always either doing the thing where I start talking, then the hosts are planning to talk, and then I'm like, I'll just shut up, or I'm talking over the other people. I just wanted to hear the synopsis.
We got an email in, and they said they love that about you as a guest. So I think we need to do it more.
Yeah, they didn't even know you were coming on. It was really lucky. It was a good
They're like,
coincidence.
could you get someone on there that talks the same time you do? Because we've been following this too well.
Yeah, we've been listening to 2 people talking at the same time for what, 6 months now? We need 3.
All right.
Oh, jeez.
So immediately the Gordy opening. Once again, you do yours, I'll do mine. I can't remember how we do this. I think there's a structure that we never obey.
We did a bad job
abide to.
following the structure of it
So,
last week.
There's a jaunty little opening to mine, with a fife, I think it is, and then like you see
Country fife,
you
maybe.
see the old truck, and I'm like, I love that on farms. No matter what year it is, the truck has to be 20 years old to really show that, oh, they're poor. Like, and even when they're getting the Gordy's dad like to go slaughter him clearly, and then the rest of the family, that dad sucks as a dad. He like gives the worst advice. He goes, "I'm going where my father went, who never came back. So goodbye, son." Like, whoa, shitty
here's
dad.
the thing. That scene in particular felt like they cut it together visually before they had recorded the voiceover.
Yeah.
And then he had to keep going. He's like, "Oh, they're still on me. Gordy!" Like, he just kept going back. It was like, fuck, cut this, man.
Yeah, I love that the last of that scene is just him like, "I love you, son," and I think he said it like once or twice.
Yeah,
no, that actually is kind of depressing.
No, Zach's movie, they had a little more money than mine because they made the fucking. You can see that the CGI is really bad, but you're like, oh, they try to match the talking.
It is,
and mine's just like they clearly were giving
those
the
are just
animals
pigs
treats.
eating. Those are pigs
they
eating.
were clearly eating
That's
treats
what I was thinking.
and just cutting it around like really quick cuts to get their fucking talking points.
Every talking scene is just that, like, just the mouth opening arrhythmically.
Why didn't they just keep using the same footage? It was different versions of them chewing on things.
It was gross. I didn't want to keep watching pigs eating. It was gross.
Why didn't they just shoot them from behind and save on feed on trees?
Because you thought there wasn't enough pig buttholes in these movies? What?
Yeah.
So many
That's
pig
more of
buttholes.
a Babe Pig in the City thing.
I didn't see that. We can't talk about that
So
one because I
for
haven't seen
Babe,
it yet. We'll be back.
They used real pigs.
How come they didn't make Gordy
some
too?
animatronics? They did, and some animatronics and some CG for the mouths. So like, I noticed it a lot on the dogs, the CG.
Yeah. But they did really great work. That was the one thing watching it again, I was like, oh, I'm so impressed with how good this. I'm assuming, was it Weta Digital that
won the Oscar for best visual effects?
I mean, and the puppets are excellent.
Yeah,
in it.
I love the mice for the chapter breakdown.
They're so good.
So I forgot about.
Super cute.
Yeah, I forgot how much fun that movie is.
Yeah. So
although the opening for years is like I remember being a child, like it's just devastating when he's like, I want my mother. You're like, oh, poor little piglet who's gonna die.
At least they don't make the whole movie about a kid trying to reunite with his mother, which is what like Gordy is, and you're just like, God damn, this is awful,
man.
Yeah,
the whole time,
right? And you're just like, the mom's dead. Give it up, kid.
You're right. I think the dad. I don't even know his name, and I kind of don't care.
Gordy!
No, not the pig's dad. The country singer mullet dad.
Oh,
I think that
Travis Tritt?
I think that he's a country singer, and then they're like, we're going to make a movie. We don't know what it's going to be, but Babe's coming out soon, so let's just record a pig eating some food, and then just bring your family, and they can just be your family. And like that's the talent that you're seeing.
Yeah.
And what was with the bad guy breaking the fourth wall constantly? He just would look right into the camera. Everyone else is looking around it, and he would look at the camera like he was menacing, like he's the bad guy. We got it because he would not stop breaking the fourth wall.
One would ever do that.
There's one scene in particular.
No one's seeing what you're doing.
I know.
Right now.
It was just for Mark.
It's fucking perm, dude.
There's one scene in particular where it's like they just got the Photoshop outer glow effect.
Yeah.
And they put him over the montage of like evil shit while he just like stares, I would say menacingly into the camera.
Yeah.
And it's just like he's center weighted. He's got this like little glow around him. I was like, and he's like the least threatening looking dude.
No, he looks like a more feminine cousin Larry from Perfect Strangers.
You're right.
Exactly.
But
that's good.
I love how he's like, let's sabotage the pig by putting the wide angle lens, like a fish.
Why do they have that lens?
Here's the thing.
That distorts everything.
That's what I'm saying. It's a fisheye, and you're like, oh, they're gonna make the pig look real fat and gross, but it doesn't. It puts a filter on it, and you're like,
it's like,
what is it? Like a glam filter that has like a hallucination filter.
Yeah. That was weird.
It didn't make any
all part
sense.
of his evil plan.
It was just so.
He's like, now switch it back. Like, if that camera operator, and we are all like come from like video production, like if that camera operator is looking through that lens and not saying, I think we got a problem with this, like he should be fired.
No, because Permo came in and said, you do this.
No, that wasn't the camera operator. That was the like side director or the B unit director or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was all B unit.
Not the Asian guy.
About.
Who was the main director.
Hey, here's the thing. Good for my pig for catching up on photographic principles right away. He goes, hey, something's up with that lens. And he just said to change it. And I'm like, wow, Gordy's insanely smart.
So, little backstory. The pig that played Gordy was actually like a first AC on a different movie.
I thought he was a first PG. I just imagine
pulling focus.
Yeah, he's a focus puller.
Because PG's pig. I was doing letter jokes too. I'm not in the business. I didn't know what
you are
joke,
though.
I didn't know what your joke meant. Hey guys, I just found out I'm in the business. That joke was funny.
So one thing I noticed early on in
Zach,
Babe,
what did you notice early on in Babe?
Is I don't think there are enough clowns on stilts in movies anymore. They're at that fair and there's just these clowns walking, and I was like, oh man, that was such a staple of like being a kid. Seeing like the clowns on stilts. Where are they?
I've never seen that.
What?
Ever.
What?
But I've never been to Australia. I've never been to the bush.
Wow.
Oh, see, that's all they're known. That's all Australia is known for is stilt walkers.
Yeah, it's Lord of the Rings,
Crocodile Dundee.
So it's really short people.
How the gods
hobbits,
must be crazy.
Or wait, that's New Zealand.
That's New Zealand. That's racist.
The hobbits.
You're fucking dumb now.
Hey.
The one thing I kept taking away from, and it makes sense that Jim Henson, I mean, I know they were just on the creature and puppet
the Henson
side,
Company.
But what's interesting to me is that I kept thinking, I watched them pretty much back to back. Well, I say watched them. Something I brought up to you, Zach, is that Gordy is only available on iTunes, and I have zero.
I had to pay $5 for that.
Well, I don't own any Apple products, so I couldn't watch it anywhere. So I checked Amazon, Vudu, you name. I mean, literally, I went through every store. None of them had it available for rent. So instead, I was just pulling Vimeo and YouTube clips to watch these scenes and be like. But the biggest takeaway I had outright from the jump is that clearly, I think first off, I don't. You mentioned the director's name, Chris Noonan.
Yeah,
has he done anything else? Because my secret theory is that George Miller directed this one too.
No, I think he couldn't.
Hang on. Are you telling me that you didn't watch all of my movie and you're the judge? Kangaroo court. This is bullshit. We're throwing this out.
You can't handle the truth.
That's right.
Hey, Zach, what's the kangaroo court? I've never been to the bush. I don't know. I've never been to the bush.
We should have just watched these movies together.
Yeah, I could have. I paid $5. We might as well watch it together.
Yeah.
Well, and think about it. You could also have a commentary track episode that you release as a separate.
Oh, we've been teasing that.
We've
for
been
a
talking
while.
about doing. Some
I don't think this is the movie we're going to start with, though.
Well, by the way, just a quick look is Chris Noonan has barely worked again after this, so I feel pretty confident. I mean, honestly, just from a visual perspective, the whole time, all I was thinking about, I was like, "Oh, this is definitely a George Miller movie."
Yeah,
it's got these really vibrant colors, the way he directs shots, and the way the movie looks and moves. Yeah. It's totally a George Miller movie.
Well, so he produced, I know he wrote and co-wrote.
Right. I'm willing to bet it's one of those scenarios where you're like, I'm trying to think of a good example.
Maybe
but it's like
maybe his buddy was trying to get into like the Directors Guild or something, and he helped him out and let him direct this movie. I don't know.
Well, and I feel like George Miller's always having issues with like being on, like he's always running into problems with like funding, and not funding directly, but like I know what happened with his Justice League movie he tried to make, where it's like the government will do weird shit, and then it's like I have to work on this, and I can't, so I'm almost wondering if he kind of had to like have a director in name on the movie, or maybe it's just him as a producer and having the pedigree he has. The point is, like, instantly I was like, oh, clearly because I watched the Gordy stuff first, then jumped into Babe, and I was like, wow, clearly Babe is made by like an expert team of creators. And my biggest thought between the two movies was that I was like watching Babe, I'm like, wow, it's really well written. Yeah, it's the scripts aren't like wildly different. And I honestly think if Disney does this stupid thing where they just hire random people to direct kids movies, they're like, nobody cares. But the thing is, if they had like hired somebody with quality pedigree, Gordy might not have actually been as bad, in my opinion.
Maybe they cut all the country music.
Hey, Mark.
Yeah.
When you guys are done over there, wipe off your mouth and tell me what you liked about my movie's YouTube clips, maybe.
I really liked
time over there.
I really liked the part where Gordy saves the kid in the pool, and then they.
You mean the squeal?
No, wait.
The squeal?
Even better.
Why did they slow down the squeal? It was so penetrating.
Yeah, the only thing that got me there is that a kid is drowning in the pool and no adult goes to save him, but the news reporters are like, get the cameras in there, and they're like, we got a camera on the pig. Yeah.
When the kid was sitting on the diving board, weren't you like, oh, that kid's going to stand up and fall in? Before he moved at all, you're like, oh, that kid's sitting backwards on the diving board. He's going to fall in. They're going to do a Beethoven moment here.
Right. We should do a Beethoven.
I'm really not that mad about you liking Babe.
So
it's okay.
what was it about the 90s that there were so many, like, not just talking animal, but like animal movies? There was a lot of animal movies and then a lot of talking animal,
What do you mean? I mean, that's the only way you can carry on the story with a child. You have the child, the dog's got to talk.
So a lot of these movies are obviously made for like an all ages audience, right? And I think fantasy and sci-fi and stuff always appealed to that audience, but we lacked the budget in a lot of regards. Like think about like, the movies that people are kind of nostalgic for, with the exception of like the really big ones from like the 80s and early 90s. Yeah. They look a little hokey now. Oh, sure. And so I think there's that thing that at some point studios realized with like Homeward Bound, for example, right? Yeah, where you're like, oh, we can just hire... Yeah, you could just hire a voice cast, and then we just film dogs running in the wilderness, and it's probably a pretty cheap production.
Well, and then if the story doesn't make sense, you can just rewrite it because it's all in voiceover.
Right, and if it doesn't, exactly.
Well, didn't Homeward Bound, isn't that already like The Long Journey or something? Isn't that already a Disney movie? They just fucking were like, fuck it, let's do it again.
Oh, I don't know.
Homeward Bound, I think there's already one from the 80s. And it's like The Incredible Journey.
No, it's Homeward Bound. No. The Incredible Journey.
I know I'm saying it wrong. I'm sorry. There is another one that is from earlier that Disney has on the streaming Disney Plus or whatever.
So the 90s one is the first of the new ones. The only one previously was a remake of the 1963 film The Incredible Journey, based on the novel of the same name. So yeah,
is that about animals too?
That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah. Then. So the books, I guess, they're all the same.
Two dogs and a cat. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I remember enjoying that too, but I also was like 10 years old. So
yeah, it was fine for a dumb kid in the 90s like us.
Why is he dumb? Right.
No, we're all dumb because children are stupid.
I thought you were just like, well, you're a dumb kid. So in the 90s.
They did do a sequel apparently. Homeward Bound 2, Lost in San Francisco. I never saw that one. But it has Sinbad in it, so I gotta see it.
Oh yeah, that's gotta be good.
It made more money, but less critically approved.
So is he the bad guy in it, or is he...
Of course he's the bad guy.
No, or is he the guy who inexplicably can kind of understand what the animals are saying and helps them?
I hope he replaced Chance as Michael J. Fox couldn't come back, so they just had Sinbad fucking do it instead.
That'd be weird.
They had
Sally
Riley
Field and Sinbad together at last.
Finally. They had him as a Labrador Retriever.
Oh, so he was another dog. Okay.
Yeah, he was another dog.
I thought he was in person.
Oh, so he's the street tough. Yeah, San Fran. Oh God, never mind.
Yeah, his name might be Sinbad, but he's a good boy.
let's get off this bad topic and onto another bad topic, which is my movie. So the old truck, because we know they're poor, steals the whole Gordy
They didn't
pig
steal
family.
it. They bought them.
Yeah, okay, you're right. Abducted but with cash.
Yeah.
And
'Cause
then
capitalism.
we're driving, and they caught the whiff of fucking line dancing because they stopped at the line dancing convention.
Yeah.
And then just went in with pigs in the back.
Yeah.
What was that about?
I don't know.
Why did that happen? Zach, it's not
because
rhetorical.
the movie needed it to happen.
Oh. Okay, just
it
like
said so in the script.
you mean like those pig pajamas that the kid all of a sudden just had.
Well,
she takes this piglet, and then the next scene he's in pig pajamas, like custom
Yeah, I like
pig
I like that he had the
pajamas.
pig pajamas. So look, no, but that like brings up a good point that I had. Like one of my notes was like, as I'm watching this movie, I just thought like none of what happens seems like motivated by anything. It's just happening. As like, all right, and now this.
Keep with the scene. Keep with the scene. The dad comes in. She's hiding the pig. He gives the daughter a kiss in the dark, and it's a pig. And they're like, whatever, like, oh, good night, Daddy. They cut to the driving scene, and the dad's like, I don't know why she tried, or like, I don't know why she had to adopt the pig. I'm like, they missed a scene. They put that together and completely skipped the part about how he didn't know, about how now he knows it was a pig he kissed. They just cut it out. They're like,
so
fuck it.
What happened is they got the movie to the editor, and he's working on it, and he's like, hey, guys, like, I think you missed, like, a canister or something. Like, I don't have the scene where this happened. And they're like, no, we didn't shoot it. And he's like, well, all right.
Why didn't they just cut the black and have him go, wait, was that a pig? And then go to the fucking next scene the next day. Like, man, I can't believe she has a pig now. That's how it translated. It was her covering up that he kissed a pig so he wouldn't know to, man, my daughter has adopted a pig.
I like her having a pet, but not a pig. Oh, fuck.
But I'm not too mad because that clearly saved us like 6 minutes.
Yeah.
That we would have had to watch. I mean, how terrible. I wish I would have had more movie to defend.
Mark thought that it just was like there wasn't a YouTube video of that clip, of that scene.
So
they were too busy filling it with the outer glow evil villain guy thing.
So
God, so ridiculous.
Let me just say, Gordy sucked. That
What are you
was so
talking
bad.
about?
Yeah,
What
it
do you
really was
mean?
not good.
He had a scarf.
But I'll also say this. I think it was a bandana. I think
anything. Yeah, bandanas can become
like,
whatever they need them to be.
in-
Parachutes, scarves, gaggers.
Yeah.
You can swallow it and you gag to death. It's great.
So, yeah.
Right?
So while I was watching Babe, I also thought like a kind of similar thing where like the movie is like a series of vignettes, and there is some like overarching, like there are some themes that like go throughout the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, obviously like the fish out of water kind of story. You know, that kind of stuff of like, oh, Babe isn't used to this. And like, you know, the duck that wants to be a rooster and like then he wants to be a sheepdog and all this stuff. Like there's that. But like at the end of the movie, like at the end when they go to the sheepdog trial and he gets like a perfect score and that's the end of the movie, I was like, oh, that's the end?
Yeah.
Like, I thought there was more. I thought he did more.
I agree with you and what you're saying, and then I fucked up because at the end I'm like, man, I said maybe what I watched as a kid was like had bonus footage and I missed it here, and I realized what I was thinking of was Charlotte's Web, because I kept thinking like, where's the part where they're like, that's some pig, and I'm like, wait a second, that was Charlotte's Web. Like I'm like, now I'm merging a cartoon movie that I saw, and I was waiting for there to be like, that pig's terrific. Like I'm a very confused adult. I merged all the movies. So the whole time I kept going, that's some pig, like pretending that was part of it, and then realizing that was alone, so it was even more sad. I was saying it to myself.
Yeah, well,
That'll
the
do,
end.
Chris.
Roll the credits.
oh yeah, that's such a
Some pig.
that's some pig.
What else did Charlotte put in the web? It was
I don't
terrific.
know, I never saw it.
It was some pig, terrific, and then was it wonderful?
Then it was like something about fat asses.
Yeah, because I kept expecting that rat to show up too with his old stinky egg. And that's what gave it away. I'm like, wait a second, that was a cartoon. Like,
yeah, it was weirdly,
I don't remember any of my
prophetic
childhood.
that, like, in the web it said MAGA. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Hang on. No, this was an alt-right film.
Oh, that's good.
That's so.
You
That
know,
would have made it a
shows-
little more interesting.
Yeah, it just shows, like, some spiders are problematic, you know? You can't all be Peter Parker.
Oh.
What? You don't like Peter Parker?
I mean, who doesn't?
I like Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, yeah.
His name's not Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Oh, wait, that's right. You don't like that show. Never mind.
I don't know what show you're talking about.
Friends.
Oh, it sucks. It's bad.
Oh, yeah, it is objectively bad. Sorry, Chris. We're just batting out tonight.
Oh, that's fine. That's
I'm
fine.
sorry. And you know what, though? Here's what I've learned. You can love anything you want, and I encourage you to love it.
Your shirt says "live and laugh." What are you doing right now? Are you doing
It
a
actually
Hallmark
says
thing?
it says live, laugh, and then it says punish at the bottom.
Ooh.
What's the Punisher logo?
Yeah, it says a Punisher
That's
logo.
fun. I like it.
Yeah.
I watched Little. Speaking of shirts that I read incorrectly, I recently watched Little Miss Sunshine, and I was like, that's a badass shirt that kid's got on. I'm like, she goes, and my girlfriend was like, what's it say? I'm like, it says Jesus was brutal, and she goes, it says Jesus was wrong. I'm like, oh, I can't read. So I was like, fuck, we should make that shirt then.
Those words aren't close to each other.
Not at all. It was cursive. I can't read.
Oh, it was cursive.
I
Oh,
recognize
okay.
Jesus, and then I improv the rest.
No one can read cursive anymore.
It's impassable.
Hit him with that yes
Kids
and.
today.
Some pig.
That'll do, Jesus.
Was that
my
why they
favorite-
put him in the tomb?
Yeah.
Like, that'll do, Jesus,
And
and
they
rolled
were-
the rock.
That's why they let him out 3 days later, because he was a good sheepdog.
Yeah, he was ready for the sheepdog trial.
Oh, for the there's
That'll
a,
do, Jesus.
a lot of sheep
That'll do.
parables in the
Judas
Bible.
was the
This is
duck
great
that kept getting
material.
him
Write
into
it
trouble.
down. That'll do,
I want to see that
Jesus.
version.
He's up on the roof. He killed Jesus.
Oh, how do we transition? So
I don't know, but this is a
pigs.
very progressive podcast now.
Why? Because we're talking about Jesus. So
Yeah.
I love in Gordy, I love the villain because it's like peak 90s bad guy businessman.
Yeah.
And he's like, so the grandpa dies and the little kid gets the company in like the most convoluted will reading
But
I've
not
ever seen.
really, because Gordy gets it because
but
he's not an
Gordy
adult,
gets
so the pig's an adult.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Even though the pig is clearly not an adult,
What's
but
up
like,
about? He's not a piglet. He's a pig.
but I love that like the evil businessman is like, we don't have to include the sausage plant. He's not going to be too happy about it, so we don't want to include it on the list of businesses that he owns now. And like when they find out about it later, he's like, oh, they don't need to know. It's none of their business. I run this company. And you're like, what?
Yeah.
I feel like I really need to buy a copy of
Dude,
this
it
movie
sucks.
now.
Oh, well, speaking of which, on Wikipedia, when I was like reading up on this movie, there were, I believe, 3 separate VHS releases and 3 or
Wow.
4 separate DVD releases, including one of February 2021.
Do you think they just kept?
Really?
That's where they inserted that scene. That's where they fucking do like special edition. You figure out how the father finds out about the pig. That's right.
That's so insane.
Yeah, the problem that I did have, I'm going to admit there is something
no.
sketchy in my movie, and I just don't. I don't know. The part where I had a really bad vibe because the part where they introduce what's her name? What's the character's name? Jeannie Sue. The part where they introduce Jeannie Sue, and then all of a sudden the uncle comes up. He's like, "Oh, come on, Doris." She goes, "All right, Uncle so and so." I'm like, "Oh, this is about to get dark." Dude.
No, I thought he was
I
going to
didn't
be
like
like
that at
a
all.
molester as well. And
Yeah.
it turned out he just had a heart of gold.
When they introduced the dad, I was like, thank God. I'm like, I do not want her to be traveling in that trailer with that fucking uncle. This will not go well.
No.
This movie was not put together enough that they're not going to include a diddling scene.
Well, I reckon my brother paid his debt to society for diddling those kids, so I'm going to take him out on the road with my daughter, and we're going to same country together.
So yeah, I was fully expecting somewhere in there that the reason that they cut the thing about him finding out his pig, or it was that there was a pig adopted, is because he went in to bang his niece and he fucked the pig on accident.
It's because the
and
dad.
Quick, get rid of all that. We got to keep it PG.
The dad nearly beat the cousin to death when he heard that his daughter was playing hide the piglet and thought it was a diddling thing.
Hide the piglet.
I found her piglet in there.
I did. You guys mentioned the pig pajamas earlier,
Yes.
and I could not get over that. That I was like, oh, there's a lot of like pig attire in this film.
A lot of pig clothes.
Yeah.
And
I
they
mean,
just let the baby in the bed.
It's based on a pig's tail.
So, but like,
True.
It's curly.
if we're going down the road of like weird things to be doing for a pig, why is Branson, Missouri putting out a TV call to action to find Gordy's parents? Like it's Joe Dirt. Like,
Well,
they're
have
going
you
to be
been to
watching
Branson?
TV. Like the parents are going to be watching it. And be like, that's our son, Gordy. We gotta get it.
Joe Dirt was later in the 90s, so Joe Dirt borrowed from my movie Gordy. So that's
right.
incorrect how you stated that.
Ooh.
Why
sorry
would
to hear,
Joe? What
Zach.
you wanted to ask is why did Joe Dirt steal from a perfectly great
You
movie?
might not realize this, but like saying Joe Dirt was inspired by your movie is not a plus.
Joe Dirt was an inspirational tale about a pig's tail.
Yeah, and like eating your dinner off like a giant boulder of shit.
That movie's
Just
stupid.
like everyone.
It's stupid.
It's stupid. Although I don't know any names of actors, so I'm just gonna stop what I was gonna say.
So, do you think that like
The actress from My Name Is Earl is attractive. That was in
Jamie Presley?
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's all.
So
that's it.
yeah, she is.
What's her new version? What's Margot Robbie?
Margot Robbie, yeah, she does. Yeah,
Not as
Very
good.
V2.
She's not as trashy. I don't like it. I like the.
Oh, I think she
trashier
is.
One. Trashy?
Yeah,
In Tanya, she was.
I saw the Suicide Squad.
Ugh, no, that's garbage.
No, not
That's
Suicide
not trash,
Squad.
that's garbage.
The Suicide Squad.
That's what I said.
No, the
That's what
new
I
one
said.
is good. I like it.
No.
You liked it too. We talked about
No,
it.
I didn't. I said it was better than the original.
You said
that doesn't mean I liked
that
it.
you love the Snyder Cut.
We're gonna talk about this to our counselor
Ugh.
later.
All right. Sorry, I heard the Snyder Cut was good. I'm out, boys.
Right?
Yeah.
That's
Let me look at.
Sorry,
my
I took a
notes now.
drink.
I
took a drink. There was a gap.
So are both of these movies like PETA propaganda? Because they're both so like watching them. I'm like, man, we
crushed my
shouldn't be eating
Snickers.
pigs. Should you had a Snickers?
It's all melty.
Fuck you.
Hang on, I gotta push. Oh,
that's
this is
goopy.
so goopy. Go on.
like it.
Go on. I'll
So-
chime in when I need to.
Both of these movies, I'm watching them and I'm like,
it's a mess.
God damn it, I hate you. So I'm watching them and I'm like, dude, what like pro-vegetarian, like anti-meat people made these movies? Because you're just like, man, I don't think people should eat animals.
Big meat.
Yeah.
Is that your nickname?
Big meat?
I
No, I'm melty candy.
Jeez.
I felt like they had more of that weirdly in the Gordy stuff I saw.
Yes,
more than
absolutely.
Babe. Like
the
it was
whole
like
thing,
Gordy was like a vegan movie.
yeah, the whole thing is about him trying to find his family who is at a slaughterhouse. That at the end of it, the whole climax of the movie takes place after a concert at night, where they have to go to the sausage factory to stop them from killing his family.
Hey, Zach.
Why is this sausage plant
Hey, Zach.
operating at night? Why is that happening?
Hey, Zach.
What?
I have a question. Wouldn't it be better to slaughter a pig after it was grown? Why were they going to kill those
Why were they
baby
gonna kill
pigs?
the piglets?
You wouldn't get much out of them.
I don't know.
It's for sport.
I think that's,
Ooh.
besides the diddling,
Getting their
that's the
jollies.
only thing wrong with my movie.
Too many pig buttholes.
It's too many. Why'd you do it?
But for Babe, there was a lot of pig buttholes, and there was a lot of like other animal buttholes as well. Like there was a scene where like sheep just like were pooping the entire scene, and I was like, I don't want to watch this.
No, they added that later in CGI. They really wanted to get the full feel of a farm.
It was actually the Jim Henson team was doing puppet shit.
They were in the sheep, and they were in there for hours, and they just had to go.
So I heard that like when they went to do the CGI shit, they couldn't like the texture of like poop didn't work for the CGI, so they just used like Woody from Toy Story. And if you look really close, it's just a bunch of little
Like
Woodies,
his-
but they're brown coming out of the
like
I've
shit
got a
spot.
shit in my boot.
I'm a sheet in this sheep.
There's a snake in my butt.
Wait,
We
what?
all have
What?
ours.
How did that
It's
work
coming
in
out
there?
of its butt. Somebody poisoned my poop. I don't know.
I'm a pooping this sheep. All right, we got to stop that.
Especially because we
It's
just sound
devolved.
like a prospector. No one's
Which is
doing a
clearly
Woody.
from Toy Story 2.
Oh yeah.
Prospector
Stinky.
Pete.
So, hang on.
I will.
If they do make a Home Alone 6,
Oh God.
would they use the cast from this movie?
No,
What could-
they've all been eaten.
The Eaten? Oh, my movie. They meant Home Alone. I'm like, no one
Them
gets
too.
eaten in those movies.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey,
so,
Daniel Stern.
so do you make Home Alone 6, even though we're skipping 5? Don't pay attention. So Home Alone,
I think there's only 3.
well, we'll skip 4. Home Alone 6, do you recast Joe Pesci and then the tall one?
Daniel
No,
Stern.
Daniel Stern.
Do you bring him
How
back?
dare you?
And then, okay, well, then you have whoever played Rookie of the Year, you have him stand in for him. And then it's Joe Pesci in Rookie of the Year
Rookie
as
of the year.
Yeah, because the Daniel Stern was in that.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's
he
the hot
was.
ice guy.
So we can't get Daniel Stern, so we get the kid from Rookie of the Year. He's the other wet bandit.
What if instead we
And
got
who-
Christopher Lloyd from Angels in the
Who is
Outfield?
Macaulay? Okay, you get Christopher Lloyd as Macaulay Culkin as
This is the other
boy.
Disney MCU that I'd like to see.
I like this. I like this. They
Like
all
the 90s.
They all got time machines separately, and then ended up at Kevin's house.
It's called the Nostalgiaverse, and it will be
And-
the best-selling movie
and then
series of all
they
time.
finally addressed the issue of how did that dad afford that house? What did that dad do that he was able to afford that awesome house in Chicago?
I've been to
killed
that
people.
house.
He actually slaughtered
That-
pigs from other
Oh
films.
shit! But he was the only one that would dared to kill piglets instead of waiting till they're grown, and that was a rare. It was a rarity.
Which is why he slaughtered them at night.
He was a celebrity pig butcher.
Oh.
Yeah. And see, the
Wow.
thing is, capitalism never sleeps.
Wow,
No, thank God.
said Jesus.
Yeah, I mean that was really again another. I'm glad we were able to quote the scripture today.
Yeah, we'll all
Someone
sleep
had
tight
to.
tonight, knowing that like
In our tombs.
our country cares for us.
Oh, stop! Don't get into it. Don't do it again.
Don't get into what?
It. Oh.
Oh
Sorry, I
no!
got excited.
Woof.
Hey, is it too early? Is it too early to figure out which one of these films won? Because I would love to have a discussion about the pros and cons. Zach, I'm going to switch it around. I'm going to let you go first since you always seem to go last.
So, Babe.
You probably got something written.
I don't. So, Babe is a very dark premise for a children's movie, and it's obvious. I mean, it's based on a novel, but like, man, just the whole idea of like, we're gonna show you that
Just opening Slaughterhouse.
the opening slaughterhouse, number one, but then the farmer's wife is so like, oh, we're gonna
Adamant.
eat this pig. Oh, like she's so giddy about like killing and eating this pig who we are like enamored with, obviously, you know?
Because then when she goes to the duck, you're still like, well, that's pretty dark.
Yeah.
Like we're now friends with all these talking animals.
That duck was an asshole.
Well,
I
yeah, of
love
course.
the duck. My duck. Oh no, mine
Ducks
was
are
a
your
rooster,
favorite.
and it sounded like Barney Fife. It was just running around like, "Oh, tell Gordy his dad's abducted. Oops,
Gordy!
I forgot to tell you the rest of your family's abducted too."
Oh, while you were looking for them, they all got
hey,
taken.
hey,
And
did
it's
you
like,
notice his name was Richard, as in the long name for Dick, as in he's a cock, and his name's Dick?
oh,
Did you get it? Was that
Dick cock.
was that a hidden joke that I'm like, oh, I got it? That's
I don't know.
Stupid.
I don't know how like Babe could possibly win with that kind of.
He's some pig.
Ammo.
That's how. He's terrific.
That'll do.
What's the third one? Is it
That'll do, Jesus.
wonderful?
I've never seen it.
I don't
Never
know.
seen
None
Babe?
of us.
You're defending it.
No, I can't talk about a third pig movie right now because I've never seen it.
Do you want to watch Charlotte's Web? We want to do that as the watch along.
Too much pig butthole. I've got that already. I said that.
And I'm sitting here going, not enough pig butthole.
Yeah. Circle that. Circle that and underline it with a highlighter. So
I do. All right.
What do you do?
Nothing. You want to get into our?
You looked at me like you were talking to me. You talking to me?
So you want to get into our final thoughts here on these movies.
That's some thought.
You'd like me to go first?
I don't care. You can go first though.
All right.
Because ladies first. You know what I'm okay. Let's stop.
Now I'm no fan. No, I'm not doing this again. I'm not doing this again.
Or whatever the hell it is.
I'm not doing this again.
Do it.
So, this movie.
Oh, you should have wrote anything. You should have fucking wrote.
I know. I always write something, but I didn't this time.
I'm the improv guy.
That's funny.
This film, Babe.
Do you want me to cut you off and just do mine instead?
Is wonderful.
Okay.
It's inspirational. It won an Oscar. It was nominated for Best Picture. Who knew?
Oh, Andy!
Oh.
Andy, my one bullet fell out.
Oh, Andy.
Mark's done with it.
God damn it.
I'm just like,
As he should
just
be.
let me know. Just let me know when you want me to be here, boys.
So this, so Babe comes down to being like an inspirational tale. It's all about characters
Overcoming.
who want to do something that they are not meant to do, things that they don't normally do. So Hoggett, the farmer, he wants to take this.
Such a stupid name.
I mean, it's his last name, but that's what his wife calls
know, but it's dumb.
So he wants to train Babe to be this like sheepdog, and it's about like seeing the value in others. Like it's kind of like Aladdin finding that diamond in the rough and finding the value of someone that they might not even see.
So we're talking.
Zach.
We're talking about Pigworth.
That'll do.
You're talking about Pigworth.
No, that's my butler.
That's a good name, Pigworth.
My butler, Pigworth.
Yeah. So, but you're talking about the pig's worth. He found the pig's worth.
He saw the value, and everybody kind of like mocked him. They all kind of laughed at him for it.
Especially his shitty kids who just wanted that house, the farm.
They just wanted him to have a fax machine.
Yeah, they did.
And
he got it.
I did really like that, like, his wife, like, in talking to, like, the daughter about the fax machine, she's like, well, can't you just use it? And she's like, we have one already. That's why we got it for you.
Yeah.
And just, I love that, like, the mom not at all understanding the technology and just being like, well, but, like, also that actress was, like, in her early 30s, and they had to really, like,
they really
make her look like an old lady.
I laughed so hard at that every time she'd show up because I was like, she's definitely, as a kid, you watch it, and it's like, oh, she's old.
Yeah.
But like, meanwhile, James Cromwell is
he's
actually
60
old.
years old, and she's 34 or something.
Yeah,
like,
and they just like made her up, and I thought that was very funny.
Yeah. No, it was.
Well,
She was great.
So
yeah,
I'm very happy that Farmer Pigott, or what was his name? Hoggett. What? It's the same thing. Farmer, your Farmer Pigott, that he found the value in his favorite pig. And then he like taught him something. This is great news. And that happened in that little farm realm. So just contained
farm realm
in the little farm in Australia.
little farm realm.
So that's a wonderful little story that doesn't really expand to anybody else. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So instead of doing an argument, I'm just going to Mark, just follow me on this. I'm
staying right
I'm going to
here.
ask Zach some questions. So we're talking about what really matters in a story and how it affects other people versus just in a small little farm.
Okay.
Did Zach? Did your pig save a little boy's life from
Country
drowning?
music.
Did your pig fly in a jet?
No, my pig flew a jet.
Did your pig wear a sexy scarf? Did your
Just
pig
pig jammies.
live in a mansion? Sign of success. Could your pig talk and communicate with people back and forth?
I will say this: I did like that. I did like that Gordy talked to humans. I liked that.
Did your pig learn photographic principles with one viewing? Did your pig have a hero pig cola named after him that was not Brown, by the way, was an orange, like it was orange cola.
Orange cola.
And fucking making his head. Was your pig eventually made CEO of a company, of a multi-million-dollar company?
That
And
bill
finally,
was
on
fucking
top
wild.
of that, was your pig
man.
at one point in life a multi-millionaire overseeing the lives of all of his workers, making sure that they had food on the table every fucking day? My pig was a success, sir, not some farm pig. He lived a life and he achieved his goals, which was talking to his favorite little boy after he saved his
Hanky?
life and being there for him when his mother failed him. Thank you very much. Mine is the superior movie.
All I have to say to that, sir, that'll
Country
do, Chris.
music.
That'll do, Chris.
That'll do, Chris. That'll do. Wait, did he say that at the end? Dr. Piggott, or what was his name?
Yeah, the last line is
Farmer
that'll do,
Hog-
pig.
Farmer
That'll
Hoggett.
do, pig. That's the very last line of
it?
the movie, and then it zoop,
Wait, then what did I say? Some pig. Okay.
some pig.
That'll do, some pig.
Horny pig.
Some pig, horny pig. That was the sequel. That was again, baby
Pig in the city.
Pig in them titties.
Wait, did they? Hang on.
So I
Mark,
watched
Mark,
the-
did you say there is a Gordy too?
No, I
There's
said
no-
that.
oh,
There
yeah.
isn't.
Oh, there's not.
Oh,
I was
God,
going to say,
thank God.
holy fucking hell.
It
they
only
got
made like $3 million.
It had like a 21% on Rotten
no.
Tomatoes.
I think they could just use
Yeah.
the extra footage of the animals chewing because they got so much of it.
we'll just do new
I actually
voiceover.
want to
No,
dub
yeah, we'll get
Gordy.
Sinbad.
Yeah.
We'll have Sinbad do.
All right, so we're gonna download Gordy. We're gonna strip out all the sound. We're gonna redub it and make it a new story. We'll take out
Yeah.
all the animal dialogue and we'll replace it with our own.
Can we actually do this?
100% we
I
can
would
do it.
I would love to.
Yes, let's do it.
All right, let's just do that instead.
Okay.
Let's do that instead of doing the next.
That'll be the episode.
next episode.
No, I can't
then-
watch Gordy
But
get
then
back
they
to
Gordy.
Gordy.
But they won't be able to watch it. They'll just listen to us
No,
talk
no,
through an hour and a
We're
half.
gonna put it up online. We'll put it up on
Here's the
YouTube.
trick: we
I love
got to
it.
leave all the human dialogue
Yeah.
the same.
Yeah, we just take out the animal dialogue.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's
Animals.
bet. But I don't want to watch Gordy again. I mean, it's a great movie. Sorry.
I'm Gordy. Yeah, I mean, like, who's gonna do the voices?
Pinky.
Yeah. I did like how there was the similar naming thing. I felt
Yeah.
like in both, where they were like, it's really weird. I just assume at one point, this is how Hollywood operates, right? Is that one person had a script idea, someone
Yeah.
steals it at Spago, and then they write a worse version or potentially better one.
Well, what's really interesting is when we did the Armageddon versus Deep
Yeah,
Impact
yeah.
episode,
It
Yeah.
was.
that actually happened where a guy was in a meeting where they were pitching Deep Impact,
Yeah.
and then he was like, "Fuck, I gotta go do Armageddon." Like,
yeah. Which one of those did you guys like better?
Armageddon.
I
Yeah.
like Deep Impact better. I've always loved Deep Impact, but I think they're both really fun, watchable movies.
For sure. Like one of Michael Bay's better
Here's
things, too.
how I explained it though, and I do defend Deep Impact on different
We
levels.
recommend you listen to that episode to all our
difficult.
listeners.
It's
I had a
fucking
problem at
funny.
the end because it's like there's two different. They're both. And sorry for saying Armageddon, but that's what it is. End of the world scenarios that involve a meteor, but they're not really the same. That's like saying, okay, what's your favorite? What did I say last time? What's your favorite holiday movie? And you're like, oh, Halloween is mine. And then someone else is like, Trains, Planes, and Automobiles. You're like, well, those are two different fucking movies. Like,
Those are
yeah,
two different
It's about
holidays.
holidays, but like, what the fuck
Yeah.
are you talking about?
Damn.
Or
I don't know.
fine, then
There's-
fine. Let's do a Christmas one. Then National Lampoons and Santa's Sleigh. You're like, well, those are two different fucking genres. Like,
No,
Right.
I think I think it was a good analogy.
I
was agreeing
I
with
thought
you.
you were saying, well, those aren't the same holidays. You
No,
can't-
I was agreeing. That was the
Possibly
point.
He's
couldn't make
100% on top of that for
I
you.
said Santa's Sleigh
I was
for
with-
some reason. That was
mean, that's
my
a fun
go-to.
movie.
That was my
Isn't that the
go-to.
Bill
was
Goldberg
Santa's Sleigh.
thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where he fucking headbutts a fucking a
He has
buffalo.
he has a bison
Or a
instead of a
deer?
reindeer.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That's
I
a
need
great
to watch
movie.
that.
Yeah.
Just
I'm going
watch-
to add that to my list.
Yeah.
Let's just watch that instead.
Okay.
Only Bill Goldberg movies going forward.
The opening of that movie is fucking wild because it's
Fran
like
Drescher.
yeah, it's a Christmas party with like Fran Drescher, James Caan, Andy Dick, maybe someone like that,
Maybe.
or Chris Kattan. It's Chris Kattan.
Chris Kattan, that's what it
Like
was.
it's these like big names, and you're like, oh shit. And then Santa, Bill Goldberg, just comes in and kills them all, and they're not related to the story at all. That's just the opening scene, and you're
That
like,
was like-
oh,
That's
fuck.
because that's
Friends.
the only
Yeah.
that's the only what you want to say big names that they were in the movie.
Yeah. The lead actress was in Lost.
Yeah.
She was the Australian girl in Lost.
Oh, I actually
Claire?
never watched Lost.
Oh. Well, that'll be
I
the
was
next
afraid
episode
Lost-
we do.
I was afraid Lost would have a bad ending, so I didn't bother watching it.
It did, but it was still a good
right.
show. It was still
See?
worth watching.
I'm really frustrated by that in general in media, where I'm
Yeah.
like, don't sell your idea until you have a good idea where it lands.
Well,
Yeah,
That's
I didn't
David
watch the
Lindelof.
last season. I'm lost on that.
Scotty.
I'll
He's
see
got
myself
jokes.
out. Thank
He's
you
got
very much.
jokes.
Well,
Oh.
all right, sir. You're the judge. We need a verdict.
Yeah, make your ruling.
I mean,
Choking
this
on a
is
peanut.
This is so easy for me, Chris. If you fought a valiant war, but I just
First time. First
Look,
time.
It's just hands down. I mean, watching the opening 10 minutes of both, you can tell that they are, while very similar, like literally love and passion went into Babe, and I think that paychecks just went into Gordy.
You think
know
there
what
was
I mean?
paychecks?
Yeah, just barely.
Do you think?
Right, but like
This
I
is
really
a
feel like
non-profit film.
yeah. For a 501c3 film, Gordy's acceptable. No, I like really going back to Babe. I always liked it, and now that I haven't watched it probably since the 90s, and now that I have like a little like I don't know like filmic vocabulary knowledge, I really kind of felt like it was a great movie. I was so impressed at how well it held. Yeah, right.
That'll do the movie.
Fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say. Never mind.
Here, quick, say more stuff so
Babe,
he forgets what he's saying.
fine.
Zach,
Right,
say stuff.
yeah. No, Babe, it's fine. That's it.
No,
That's my thought.
It's a great movie produced by one of the great filmmakers of our lifetime, and like
Right.
to put it up against this like Disney like threw together like a barnyard stock footage movie.
Was mine Disney?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
Why is it not
It
on the
was.
Disney?
Because they sold it.
They
Oh.
disowned it pretty early on, and like they put it under the Miramax label and all that shit. and
Miramax
then-
put out
Oh,
one of
then-
the DVD releases.
Yep. And so I think once it was a bomb, they were like, we wash our hands of
You-
it.
I think Focus Features might have put out another re-release.
That's amazing. I wonder why. It said it became
Weird.
a cult classic, but I don't know anyone
Did it?
that's in a cult.
Who
like-
the fuck said that?
I've never felt so much like I was like watching a How Did This Get Made movie. I was like, oh, how have they not done this?
yeah.
That's fun. They should do it.
Ugh.
But I feel like I don't want to hear June's take on Gordy.
On the pigs,
No,
yeah.
she would
Yeah.
defend it. She would defend it
Yeah.
and talk about animal rights, which is
But
good
she
for
would-
her, but
She would
boring
talk
for
about
this
properly
shitty
crediting
movie.
Gordy,
Yeah,
the pig.
which like you don't need to defend this at all.
I'd like to know which one of the villainous characters she found attractive, because I feel like that always happens.
Yeah,
Jim Varney.
Yeah, I was gonna
from
say Jim
Exactly.
Varney.
Ernest
That
goes to
sexy
jail.
Ernest. I
No,
think
she
about
would, she
that
would
all
talk
the
about how
time.
the dad with the mullet was like the country singer was like he was very handsome.
She's like, no, he was the handsome dad, and then everyone would laugh at her, and Mantzoukas would be like, handsome dad, very loud.
Yeah, he'd say that it was like bonkers. Let's do our own version where we like just talk about what they would say.
Right,
because that's what people want to hear.
How did this get made?
How did this get made? Get made. That's a great idea.
I would watch it. Oh, that's funny as hell.
Oh boy.
Yeah, hands down, I'm voting full on Babe on this one. Like you said, expert film. Like people who like to make movies
the fact
well.
that it's just a kangaroo court, we gotta just take this with a grain of salt. We gotta hop our asses on out of the room. The
one thing.
Yep.
That I know is that if you want to get through the eye of the needle,
I tell you what, man.
you gotta really.
If you had to humble a camel, Mark, how would you do so?
Camel.
Did you say hump a camel?
Humble. When
They've already got
I was
two.
just like,
I'm
how would
gonna
I humble
Google
a camel?
some songs
Spit
with
at
camel
it.
humps in it.
I
But
would spit at it. I'd
He's
be
got
like,
a real
"No,
humble
answer.
it? Okay.
You're not the only loogie man here, okay?
Do you think it would get down on all of its knees? I think they have knees. Don't they got knees?
I think they're backwards.
They're backwards knees, so they're like
The
this.
back ones are for sure. The front
Yeah.
ones also. Yeah, the front
I don't
ones are
know.
like kind of
Okay.
like human arms.
And
right?
then you
They have
and then
fingers.
yeah,
Wetter.
you hump, and then it would get on all fours and shuffle through the little door. And we've been having a discussion about medieval
Clumsy metaphors.
medieval
about
technology,
clumsy metaphors.
and we're just trying to figure out a couple things. I have a side, he's got an opinion, and we're just trying to meet in the middle. And we're really trying to, good day, pig. I already forgot the saying. What is it?
That'll do.
That'll do.
Chris. That'll do. You try.
That'll do. Oh,
Sorry,
fuck.
Gordy.
Farmer, doctor.
I was really
Pigott.
bummed to watch that movie. I was watching it. I watched both of them this week, and my wife was like, "Oh, I saw both those movies. They're good." And I was like, "Really?"
And then you
Oh.
watched it.
And then
Here's
I
the
was
thing:
like, "Yeah,
when you're 8, they are both good,
Yeah.
and then when you're an adult, only Babe is.
yeah." That's true. That's true.
I mean, is that it?
I was just gonna let like the longest like awkward silence go.
I hated it.
I know.
I hated
real.
every minute of it. Mark, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Mark, thank you so much for being
Dude, always
bipartisan, clearly from the opening, not even watching my movie. This is great, man. We always like to have you on.
I did watch. I mean, I think I saw about 45 minutes of it. I saw about Gordy 5 minutes of it.
Well,
yeah, because that was all that
See
was
what
on.
you did.
I really can't believe it was only on iTunes. I wanted to bitch about that more.
That's really funny.
Yeah,
no,
because I was embarrassed a little bit to admit to you guys that because I was texting Zach. I was like, where the fuck did you even watch this? And you, I
asked Zach. I was like, how the hell did you watch this movie, dude? Like,
right.
It's upsetting that Zach and I together spent $10. We gave them $10 of our money.
Yeah, well, they'll never get it back.
You know, hopefully.
But that's how 50-50 partners work. Because you're over there, and then I'm over here. We put money together, and boom, you got yourself a franchise. All comes around.
Steak and Shake.
Steak and Shake, baby.
The one in Forest Park.
Johnny Piglets coming near you.
No, it's Steak and Shake.
Oh, we can rename it. It's a franchise.
No.
Yeah, with Steak and Shake Johnny Piglets. No, that's how it works. Dr. Piglets.
It's all pig burgers.
Did you say Dr. Piglets?
Yeah, like the Dr.
Is that like a Walmart Dr. Pepper with pork in it?
What was it? Hamlet? What was your name? The doctor's name on the farm?
Hoggett. He wasn't a doctor.
Hoggett. He was a farmer.
He was a farmer.
I don't know. I think this non-alcoholic beer taste. I think this non-alcoholic beer taste beverage has gotten to me.
He didn't. He's a cheater and a liar.
Hi.
And a passionate man.
Mark.
Oh, he deserves it. Everyone deserves that kind of passion.
Mark,
passion of the Christ.
Oh, I was doing the thing where I kept talking when you did, and then I wanted to make sure email fans got their while.
What?
That's what they wanted.
That didn't make sense.
While? That's what you say. They got their while. It was worth your while.
That's a phrase.
Yeah,
they got their while.
No, they got their while.
No.
They got wild about it.
All right. Well, Mark, since no one has
boys.
officially thanked you for doing this yet, I'm going to thank you.
I thank you all for inviting me. I had a good time as always. Thanks, gentlemen.
So everybody check out the Jungle Gyms podcast. It comes out on Wednesdays just like we do at junglegyms.com/WJJI.
Thank you.
Or wherever you get your podcasts. Also, you can follow Mark on Instagram at TheMarketing. He's a good follow. Follow him.
Thank you. And you can go to themarketing.com as well if you want to do the .com thing.
Find some fun short films and silliness and good stuff. Everybody loves it.
Nudes and lewds, baby.
Nudes and lewds. All right. Well, thanks for listening this week, and tell all your friends about us. Be sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts if you like what we do. You can rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. You can find us online at KeystoneCopycats.com. We're at Keystone Copycats on Instagram and Facebook, and at Keystone Copycat on Twitter. If you've got something to say, you can email us at KeystoneCopycats@gmail.com or leave us a voicemail at 513-239-7682. Don't forget to check out Sinclarity, A Dinosaur's Tale every Friday. And until next time, that'll do, Zach. And he
is some pig.
Oh, boy. We'll see you next week.
That'll do, Zach. That'll do.
Hey, that's what I said.